So good morning, friends. So for today's point of discussion, I have chosen a topic of HDFS. So first, I would like to know you why I have taken up this topic. So from three-tier architecture from our previous chapter, I just wanted to move to a complex architecture, and I wanted to make sure that you people understand this complex architecture. If you understand this complex architecture, I guarantee that you can go ahead and understand any complex architecture in the world. So the whole game about an architecture is on software and machines. So here I have made up two images. One is for machines and second is for software. So this image has been taken from the apache.org. That is the website for Hadoop, and this contains all the softwares as the part of HDFS and big data program which Hadoop follows. So what is exactly DFS? When we say HDFS, so it has an acronym DFS. So what is DFS? DFS is nothing but distributed file system. What it means is when you have a lot of data, you divide that data into parts and you store it into multiple computers. So you are distributing the data into multiple computers. So that is distributed file system. HDFS is Hadoop distributed file system. So previously, before HDFS, there were other distributed file system. One was from Oracle, and that they had some their cons, because of which HDFS came into power, and it was a huge blow. And another major thing about HDFS is it is completely free and open source. You can use it anywhere you want. You do not have any commercial restrictions at all. So this was a major thing about HDFS. Now we will discuss on functionality and machines and softwares. So HDFS gives you pleasure of first thing before we continue is there are two parts. One is HDFS and second is MapReduce. MapReduce is the software part which we will not be discussing anyhow. And the first part is HDFS architecture. This is where my aim is. So when we particularly talk about HDFS, it has few daemons. What are daemons? So it has few daemons. You can learn these words. The daemons are data nodes, they are name nodes, and then there are processes which are running on the systems, tasks which run on the system. So these are daemons. Daemons are nothing but processes which know that there will be a regular request coming to them and they will have to respond to that. So it is a piece of software which is tied to the operating system as a process, right? And it works according to that. So this was majorly about daemon. Then we come to the part how to install and how many machines we want, right? So this is a concept of big data. So big data is something where we do not know how much amount of data we will be having. So we will be taking an example of Facebook, because Facebook is an organization which uses HDFS as its infrastructure. So when we say that it uses HDFS as an infrastructure, if on Facebook we have millions of users and each one of these million users has thousands of images and thousands of videos. So you can imagine how much data it would be storing and having it. So to store these data, they are using HDFS, and this particular all of these data, all the files and all of these data is stored in data node. So data node is again nothing but a piece of software which runs on a machine, and this is responsible for taking in data from the client and storing at some place. Now, when we say that we have so much of data, how to find them? So this is something we need a index. In our books we have an index. In the same way, we need an index to make sure we have lakhs of computer systems and we have lakhs of records. So we want to make sure where what record is. So we need a metadata. This is called as metadata, and this is what the job of name node is. Name node is again a piece of software which maintains your metadata. Data node is a piece of software which maintains your data. It stores and let you read it. And client is obviously the client machine, a request from where a machine from where the request has been sent. Then the question comes: can we install data nodes, two data nodes on one machine, and can we install there are two name nodes? One is primary name node and second is the secondary name node. We will talk about it. So can we install both the name node on single machine? Yes, you can. So Hadoop gives you this feasibility of installing these softwares as standalone, as zero distributed, as full distributed. Standalone, I have never seen anyone using it, so I will not talk about it. Zero distributed means it is specifically for your learning purpose. For example, if you want to learn Hadoop and you have to like buy 100 of systems, that is not feasible, right? No one can spend so much. So they've given you this feasibility, this pleasure to install all of these things in a single system. So these are just piece of softwares which can be installed even on a single machine, but this is not in practicality. In practical, our problem is that we have huge amount of data and we need to like use it, that too with a good performance. So we will install all of these software at different machines. This is how it is installed in actuality. So you can now see the image over here. Like over here we have three computer systems kept over one. So this is a rack. Now we will go up with a new term which is a rack. So what exactly is a rack? Rack is nothing but a LAN. If we have 10 computer systems attached to this SDFS architecture in one office, so they all will be attached internally via wires. This will make sure that the data transfer speed between all of them is very high and they do not interact with the internet for data speed. So between a rack, the interaction is very high and the speed is very high because network latency is less. Because they are not on the network, they are on the LAN. So rack is nothing but a LAN, the set of computers in the same office connected with wires. So here in like this example, we have three yellow blocks in a rack, which means they have three computer systems in a office. And in rack 2 they have two computer systems. So name node is again another computer system at another place. So how exactly things happen is like name node. Now we'll just like talk few things about name node. So name node is something like which like maintains your index. How does it maintain your index? So we will not go very deep into it. Try to stay with me. My intention is to make sure that you understand the concept of machines and softwares. Like this is important for you to understand. If you understand this, you can go ahead and like see anything and like do anything in your life, right? With respect to computer systems. So name node is something like which stores your metadata, and it does this by using two files. One is fs file and second is edit file. Anything which has been edited on the data node or added on the data node, it requires to be added in the index as well. So it will not directly write it to the fs file, which is the main index file. It will go ahead and write it to the edit file, which is a replica of it. So it keeps on adding any new metadata in this edit file while it does not do anything on the fs file. So this makes a problem that like the name node works in a particular fashion, and that fashion is whenever you restart name node, then it like puts all the data in edit file to fs file. So then they become the replica of each other, and until then the edit file only contains the new information and fs file has only the old information. So let's assume that a person like starts in a system and after 40 days or 50 days he restarts the system. So in 50 days a company like Facebook, it will have so many users, like how much data change it will contain, right? It will have a lot of data change. So when they will restart the system, it will take hours of time to update the fs file, right? So this is where the second name node comes into picture. It will intermittently take both these files from the primary name node and it will just save the files to fs file, and then it will replace the fs file from its machine, secondary name node machine, to primary name node machine, and the edit file in primary name node machine will never be blocked, right? So it is always available for new edits. And the secondary name node also maintains a file called as fs time on primary name node. So this is actually a way which they have like innovated to make sure that they do not have to restart the system again and again, and the actual file in the disk also gets saved with the latest information. So this is the purpose of secondary name node. Now I'm not sure why they have not mentioned it in their like image, architectural image which they have given on their official site, but they should have given about this, and this is a very important component of SDFS, which is secondary name node. Now we will come back again to data node and we will discuss how exactly data node works on a very upper level. We will not go deep. So any file which is saved in data node is saved in pieces. Say for example you save a video and this video is of 1 GB. So it will not save this video entirely on a system on a single machine. What it will do, it will divide this into various parts. And how it will divide it has a criteria of dividing things into consistent space. So HDFS can divides things as per the configuration which has been set, and it can range from 64 MB to 128 MB. So you can divide these files, you can set a configuration, and this file will be divided as per that. So assume that it has been set to 100 MB, then this particular 1000 MB file will be divided into 10 parts. So all these 10 parts will be saved at different places, and we call this a particular part, we call it to be a block. Now if you see over here in this image, we have 3 green blocks within a yellow block, and there is a replication between 2 racks. So HDFS gives you another pleasure, saying that even if your one rack goes down, so there can be some hardware issue, there can be electricity problem, and anything can be there. If one rack goes down, still you will have a feasibility of getting the data from another rack. How it is possible? This is possible via application factor, which is by default 3. So if we say that the application factor is by default 3, it means that anything which is saved to data node, any file, a file is divided into various parts, so any part which is saved into data node will be saved 3 times. So it will save in one rack, then it will save in another rack, and the third part will save in the second rack itself. So it uses actually 2 racks. When the application factor will be 3, it will use 2 racks. So one rack and the second rack, and second rack it will save 2 copies. So it is very rare that 2 racks goes down at one single particular time. So we make sure that we have a copy in at least 2 racks. So we understand what is a rack. Rack is nothing but a LAN, a set of computers in an office. An entire office can go down, but 2 offices can go down simultaneously is very less frequent. So now the next thing is client. A client can hit a read request or a write request. Whenever a client hit a read request, it first needs to go and check the index. So we first go to the name node. So client communicates with name node and data node directly. It first goes to the name node and it takes in the request, gives the request and takes in the index data, it asks for where is block A of file 1. So name node will say it is in data node 1, data node 2 and data node 5. Data node 1 and data node 2 are in rack 1, data node 5 is in rack 5, for an example. So now client node will go to these places and will pick up the files. When the client will write to these, so these will be written in the data node, and the data node will the name node will pick what has been written from in data node and it will update it index. So this was a very overview of Hadoop distributed file system, and I wanted you to give this to make sure that you understand the difference of a complex architecture and you are able to make an understanding of machines and softwares. So in actuality, I again repeat, all these data nodes, all the name nodes are on different machines. They are never on a single machine, and this is the purpose of big data. Thank you so much. Guys, this was Anand Goyal, and this video is sponsored by host-tune-perform.com.